Family and attorneys dissatisfied with lack of information on Adriana probe from police commissioner. News source Guyana reports. 13 days after the body of 11-year-old Adriana Young was discovered in a pool at the Doubleday Hotel, following her report as missing the previous day, Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken has been unable to provide critical information on the investigation into her death, which has sparked global outrage and demands for justice. Adriana's parents, accompanied by their attorneys Dexter Todd and UC Anderson, met with Commissioner Hicken and two deputy commissioners at the commissioner's office. The crime chief was not present, and according to the family and their attorneys, the commissioner failed to provide essential information regarding the investigation. Speaking to reporters outside the police headquarters, attorney Dexter Todd expressed frustration over the lack of answers. Who is leading this investigation? Who are the investigators? There were no answers. What exactly is being investigated? Have you ruled out homicide? Are you investigating homicide? No answers. Samples have been sent overseas for testing. What tests are being conducted? No answers. When will those results be available? No answers. Is there a preliminary autopsy report? That has not been provided, Todd stated. An autopsy conducted on Adriana by 3 independent foreign pathologists concluded that she died by drowning. As part of the investigation, DNA samples from the hotel's owner and Adriana have been sent to the Mount Sinai Health System in New York for advanced testing. However, according to Todd, Commissioner Hicken could not specify the tests to be performed or whether water samples were taken from the pool. If you're conducting tests to analyze what was found in the lungs, you need a sample for comparison. They couldn't confirm if any water was taken from the pool, and now that the pool is empty, we're left uncertain, he explained. Adriana's parents have been advocating for the involvement of international investigators and are pushing for a second autopsy. Todd stated that while the family understands there may be challenges, the police force should clarify those challenges. One reason we wanted this meeting with the commissioner and the crime chief was to understand the limitations of the investigation and how the police plan to involve the international community to bring in experts. It's disappointing that, days after this incident, we cannot tell the family how international assistance will be incorporated for a more thorough investigation, Todd remarked. The commissioner advised the family and their attorneys to submit their questions in writing, promising that a response would be forthcoming. The attorneys plan to meet with the family to discuss the next steps. According to Todd, Adriana's remains have not decomposed significantly and are in good condition. He emphasized the importance of her burial, stating that the family will decide when the appropriate time for that will be. Man, 19, among 3 remanded over 2024 Yarokabra murder. Newsroom Guyana reports, 3 men accused of the murder of Aubrey Richardson in Yarokabra, Soesdijk-Linden Highway, in September 2024, were remanded to prison after appearing in court on Tuesday. The accused have been identified as 19-year-old Carlton Antoine Sampson, also known as Skeng, or Cartoon, of Circuitville, Soesdijk Highway. 26-year-old Dwayne Neal Winter, known as Drizzle, of Section C, Block Y, Golden Grove, East Bank Demerara. 36-year-old Brutus Taylor of 16th Avenue, Diamond, East Bank Demerara. The trio appeared at the Friendship Magistrates Court, where the murder charge was formally read to them. They were not required to enter a plea and were subsequently remanded to prison. The matter has been adjourned until May 30, 2025. According to reports, Richardson was fatally shot during a robbery at a popular shop in Yarokabra on September 5, 2024. At the time of the incident, he was engaged in conversation with a friend when the assailants entered the premises posing as customers. Richardson was allegedly held at gunpoint and shot in the back. The suspects then proceeded to rob the shop owner before fleeing the scene. He later succumbed to his injuries. Police address key questions in meeting with Adriana Young's family lawyers. Newsroom Guyana reports. The Guyana police force reported that several questions were addressed during a meeting with the legal representatives of Adriana Young's family on Wednesday. However, some matters were withheld due to their sensitive nature in the ongoing investigation. On Tuesday, senior officials from the Guyana police force met with the family's attorneys, Dexter Todd and UC Anderson, at the request of Dr. Todd in the commissioner's boardroom. The meeting aimed to address the family's concerns and provide clarity on the investigation status. Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken, along with Deputy Commissioners Budrum and McBean, and Superintendent Baird from the Office of Professional Responsibility, participated in the meeting. In a statement, the police expressed that the session was part of their efforts to ensure transparency and maintain open communication with the family. While many questions were answered, some were deemed too sensitive to discuss at this time due to the active investigation. The police indicated that those matters would be addressed in writing after further consultation with the investigative team. The force welcomed this engagement as an opportunity to demonstrate its commitment to transparency, accountability, and diligent investigative work, the statement read. During the meeting, the legal team was assured that the case is being handled with the utmost seriousness. Police confirmed that water samples from the pool where Young was reportedly found had been collected and sent overseas for independent forensic testing. They emphasized that senior officers are overseeing the process to ensure impartiality and thoroughness. The police clarified that no information was withheld arbitrarily. Details not disclosed were done so to preserve the integrity of the investigation. Mr. Todd, who has served the Guyana police force in various roles, including as personal assistant to a previous commissioner, was reminded of the importance of managing information carefully during ongoing investigations. The force reiterated its commitment to keeping the Young family informed while adhering to all legal and procedural obligations. Every measure is being taken to ensure a thorough, transparent, and accountable process, the statement concluded. The police thanked the family and the public for their patience as the investigation continues. Man files $100 million lawsuit over wrongful arrest in Adriana Young's case. Newsroom Guyana reports. A man wrongfully accused of abducting a missing child has filed a lawsuit against the state, claiming over $100 million in damages and multiple constitutional breaches following what he describes as a humiliating and unjustified arrest. Dion Mario Jeffrey, represented by attorney-at-law Darren Wade, is expected to file a fixed-date application in the High Court on Wednesday. According to court documents, the case stems from the disappearance of 11-year-old Adriana Young on April 23 at the Doubleday Hotel in Tucson, East Bank, Essequibo. The Guyana police force initially stated that the missing child had been seen leaving the hotel in a red Toyota Ram with registration number PSS 4684. Jeffrey, who had rented the vehicle from Chief Jamal Mohammed Yusuf, was arrested the following morning while traveling on the West Bank Demerara. He was intercepted at the Demerara Harbor Bridge around 6:15 a.m. and subsequently taken into custody at the La Grange police station. In his affidavit, Jeffrey stated he was held until approximately 6:30 p.m. that same day and was later released without charge. The police later issued a second statement acknowledging that their earlier press release linking the vehicle to the abduction was made in error. They explained that inaccurate information from a civilian working within the Regional Command Center led to the initial report. Despite this clarification, Jeffrey claims the damage was already done. He alleges that, as a direct result of the arrest and subsequent media reports, he lost 2 construction contracts, one valued at $500,000 for drainage works in La Parfaite Harmony and another worth $275,000 for interior works at the Schoonord housing scheme. He states that clients withdrew their offers due to concerns about his alleged involvement in a criminal matter. In his application, Jeffrey argues that the arrest and detention violated his constitutional rights, including the right to equal protection under the law, Article 149d, the right to liberty, Article 139, the right to freedom of movement, Article 148. He is seeking the following reliefs from the court: declarations of constitutional breaches, general damages exceeding $100 million for wrongful detention, exemplary and aggravated damages. Any further orders deemed just by the court. The matter will be heard before a judge on a date yet to be confirmed. Wade, who confirmed the filing, stated that the case underscores the critical need for accountability in police operations, particularly when reputational harm and economic loss result from arrests made without sufficient investigation. When contacted, Attorney General Anil Nanlal described the lawsuit as a publicity gimmick, noting that the proceedings have not yet been officially served to his office. Nandlall added that while the matter has appeared in the press, it has not yet reached the Attorney General's chambers. When the proceedings are officially served and examined, we will be in a position to comment, the AG concluded. Car stolen from customer during quarantine robbery recovered. Newsroom reports. The car stolen from a customer during a robbery at a Chinese supermarket in number 65 village, Quarantine Burbis, has been recovered just 2 villages away. At approximately 7:40 p.m. on Tuesday, 4 masked and armed men launched a brazen attack on the Golden Springs supermarket. Before storming the store, the bandits violently confronted Shevnarine Richard, 21, from number 65 village, and Harish Persad from number 75 village, just as they arrived to buy ice. Persad recounted that the armed robbers aggressively demanded all their valuables. He complied, handing over $25,000, a Motorola phone worth $60,000, a gold chain valued at $250,000, and several gold rings. Richard was also victimized, losing a Samsung A12 and $35,000. After robbing Persad and Richard, 3 of the bandits entered the supermarket while 1 remained outside, maintaining control over the 2 men in the vehicle. Reports indicate that the bandits ordered Richard and Persad to exit the car, but due to an old injury, Persad struggled to comply. Inside the supermarket, Richard was forced to lie on the ground, along with other customers. 1 bandit stayed outside while Persad remained in the car. Witnesses reported that 4 shots were fired outside during the chaotic scene. After committing the robbery, the bandits reportedly ordered Persad to exit his car, which he did, before they fled the scene. Following the robbery, Persad coordinated a search for the stolen vehicle with relatives and friends, ultimately leading to its recovery by police in number 68 village, hidden away on a back street. I feel pleased that I found my car because I was really worried. 3 weeks ago, I bought a brand new car, he revealed. Region 6 Regional Commander Shivprasad Bacchus confirmed that 7 individuals, including the supermarket owner, were robbed of cash, jewelry, and a motor vehicle. Bacchus assured that investigations are underway as police work diligently to apprehend the perpetrators. Scotia Bank introduces online applications for new accounts. Scotia Bank has launched a digital onboarding process, allowing individuals interested in opening accounts to do so online via the Scotia Caribbean app and Scotia Online Banking. This new online account opening feature promotes an improved sign-up experience, providing a simple, fast, and secure way for clients to bank with Scotiabank without the need to visit a branch. Nafiza Gaffer, country manager of Scotiabank Guyana, stated, "Streamlining and simplifying the digital onboarding processes is crucial for ensuring smooth transitions to digital banking. At Scotiabank, we are focused on delivering innovations that make life easier for our clients, starting from the moment they join the bank. This convenient onboarding experience is a key part of our digital transformation efforts." Step-by-step guides have been made available on the bank's website, ensuring clients have a clear understanding of the process, which takes an average of 15 minutes to complete. New clients are required to agree to the bank's digital access and privacy agreements before inputting their personal information to create a profile, validate their information, and submit the application. Once the account is set up, clients can enjoy Scotiabank's anytime, anywhere banking services. Water samples from pool where Adriana Young's body was found sent overseas for forensic analysis, police. By news source Guyana. The Guyana police force announced that, as part of the investigation into the death of 11-year-old Adriana Young, water samples from the pool at the Doubleday Hotel have been collected and sent overseas for independent forensic analysis. Adriana's lifeless body was discovered in the hotel's pool one day after she was reported missing during a family outing. A post-mortem examination concluded that she died by drowning, but investigations into her death are ongoing. In a statement released by the Guyana police force this afternoon, they affirmed that the investigation is active, with all leads and evidence being pursued diligently. Oversight of the investigation is maintained at a senior level to ensure thoroughness and impartiality. This statement followed a meeting between the police commissioner and 2 deputy commissioners with Adriana Young's family and their attorneys. After the meeting, the attorneys expressed frustration that many of their questions regarding the investigation remained unanswered. The police clarified that any withheld information was done solely to protect the integrity of the investigation and prevent compromising its outcomes. They welcomed the engagement with the family and their attorneys as a chance to demonstrate their commitment to transparency, accountability, and diligent investigative work. While several questions were addressed during the meeting, others, due to the sensitive and evolving nature of the investigation, required further verification and were deferred for written responses after consulting with the investigative team. The police reiterated their commitment to keeping the family informed while adhering to legal and procedural requirements. They emphasized that the investigation into Adriana Young's tragic death is being pursued with the utmost seriousness and care. The police have faced criticism for their initial response when the family filed a missing child report. They originally stated that the girl was captured on surveillance video leaving the hotel in a vehicle, only to later admit that this information was incorrect. Adriana's body was found in the hotel's pool after the family conducted several searches of the area. Her death has gripped the nation in recent weeks, sparking widespread protests following the discovery of her body and the results of the post-mortem examination. The family is still finalizing her funeral arrangements after postponing the service on Monday. Crab, charged with murder after stray bullet kills 7-year-old. Guyana Times reports. The man accused of firing the stray bullet that struck and later killed 7-year-old Jeremiah Gustav has now been formally charged with murder. On Tuesday, Odell Garnett, also known as Crab, appeared before Principal Magistrate Faith McGusty, where the charge against him was upgraded from attempted murder to murder, following the child's death on March 29. Jeremiah was shot in the head on July 9, 2024, while sitting at his mother's food stall on Charles Street, Charlestown, Georgetown, during a reported crossfire between two individuals. He spent 8 months in a coma and underwent multiple surgeries before succumbing to his injuries at the Georgetown Public Hospital, GPHC. During Tuesday's proceedings, the court heard that the previous attempted murder charge has been set aside, and the prosecution has now formally filed a murder charge. Garnett, who has been on remand since October 2024, is scheduled to return to court on May 27. The case had already entered the trial stage under the previous charge before Jeremiah's passing. Meanwhile, the child's mother, Keisha Gustav, continues to call for full justice, especially after charges were previously withdrawn against a second suspect in the case. 14-year-old stabbed during brawl outside Giftland Mall. Kaider News reports, a 14-year-old girl was stabbed outside the Giftland Mall on Sunday night, according to police reports. The teen, identified as Saskia Tobin, is currently receiving medical treatment at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, GPHC. It has been noted that Tobin is a cancer survivor. Regional Commander of Division 4A and Assistant Commissioner Simon McBean told Kaider News that an investigation into the stabbing has been launched. "We are investigating," McBean stated. "I don't want to provide details at this time because we are still uncertain about the specifics. We have heard several versions of the story." However, McBean did confirm that the incident was related to a fight that broke out in the area. "In my view, there seems to have been a brawl involving some youths," he added. When asked whether Tobin was directly involved in the brawl or if she was an innocent bystander, McBean declined to comment. Teen faces fresh charges after initial $1.4 million embezzlement case withdrawn. Guyana Times reports. 19-year-old Serena Samuels, a former office assistant at Good Intent, West Bank Demerara, WBD, is once again facing legal troubles. This time, she confronts a new set of charges related to alleged financial misconduct at her former workplace, Beacon Roti. Previously, in April, Samuels had been charged with embezzling over $1.4 million from her employer. However, during her appearance before Principal Magistrate Faith McGusty at the Georgetown Magistrates Courts on Tuesday, the prosecution revealed that those initial charges had been formally withdrawn following advice from the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP. Samuels, who was responsible for managing daily cash sales and petty cash at Beacon Cafe on Sheriff Street, Georgetown, now faces 11 new charges of larceny by clerk or servant, contrary to Section 184 of the Criminal Law, Offenses, Act, Chapter 801. These new charges are based on incidents that allegedly occurred throughout March and early April 2024, during which she is accused of stealing various sums of cash while performing her duties. The total amount involved in these fresh charges exceeds $1.3 million. During the court proceedings, Magistrate McGusty stated that Samuels could apply for the $600,000 bail from the earlier case to be transferred to the new charges. However, this transfer would require coordination with the individual who initially posted the bail. Samuels, appearing unrepresented, expressed uncertainty about contacting that person. The magistrate warned that failing to secure the bail transfer might result in her being remanded to prison. As of press time, it was unclear whether the transfer had been completed. The original charges arose from an internal audit conducted by the business owner, who identified that Samuels had allegedly failed to submit daily cash reports and could not account for significant sums during a period from mid-March to early April 2024. Upon discovering a shortfall of over $1.4 million, the employer filed a police report, leading to Samuels' arrest and subsequent charges. At her initial court appearance, Samuels expressed a desire to reach a compromise and repay the money, but noted her financial difficulties due to unemployment at the time. With the new charges now formally laid, Samuels is expected to return to court on May 23. Man placed on 2-year peace bond for threatening romantic rival. Guyana Times reports. A man involved in an alleged love triangle was placed on a 2-year peace bond on Friday after admitting to threatening the husband of a woman he is reportedly romantically involved with. Hiranand Budram, of Prasad Nagar, Georgetown, appeared before Senior Magistrate Fabio Azor at the Georgetown Magistrates Court, charged with using threatening language, contrary to Section 14A of the Summary Jurisdiction, Offenses, Act, Chapter 802. The charge stemmed from an incident on Monday, April 21, at Waterloo Street, South Cummingsburg, Georgetown, where Budram allegedly threatened Eugindra Persad, the husband of the woman he is reportedly seeing. Budram pleaded guilty with an explanation, claiming that Persad had threatened to kill him. In response, Budram stated, "If you want to kill me, I would bruck you up." In court, Budram further explained that Persad had repeatedly urged him to stay away from his wife, but he insisted that Persad was addressing the wrong person. "I told him he needs to talk to his wife, not me," Budram said. Persad testified that he and his wife are working on their marriage and that he has tried to avoid conflict. However, during a recent encounter after dropping his wife off at her mother's home, he noticed Budram allegedly following his car. Finding this suspicious, he claimed he called the police. Before they arrived, he said Budram blocked his vehicle and threatened him, saying, "Do what you want to do." Persad added that after Budram's arrest, he told investigators he was under the influence of alcohol when he made the threats. Persad also requested a restraining order, stating he wants no contact due to a child being involved at the residence. After hearing both sides, Magistrate Azor ordered Budram to have no contact with Persad and placed him on a 2-year bond to keep the peace. Man wanted for murder of clothes vendor. Kaider News reports. The Guyana Police Force, GPF, issued a wanted bulletin on Tuesday for 29-year-old Calvin Daly in connection with the murder of clothes vendor Datsun Davidson, also known as Blackie. Daly, who resides at Lot 23 Coco-Wright Street, East Louisiana Penitence, Georgetown, is sought for the murder of Davidson, who was fatally shot on May 1, 2025, at the intersection of Coco-Wright and Freeman Streets, East La Penitence. Anyone with information regarding Daly's whereabouts is urged to contact the nearest police station. In its initial release, the GPF announced the arrest of Colwyn Marcurius, a 33-year-old shop owner from Freeman Street, in relation to the murder. Reports indicate that Marcurius and Davidson were acquainted. According to police, Davidson was shot around 8:45 p.m. during an argument he had with the accused. Witnesses nearby reported hearing loud explosions, which were suspected to be gunshots. Shortly thereafter, Davidson was found lying motionless. Emergency medical technicians were called to the scene, where he was pronounced dead. Crime scene investigators recovered a 9mm pistol, along with one live 9mm round and a spent shell. Dismissal of cleaner based on conduct, not unfairness, says May's school. Newsroom Guyana reports. May's school has issued a statement in response to recent media reports concerning claims made by a former employee following her dismissal. The individual in question, referred to on social media as Alana Adams, is actually Renetta Somerset. The school clarified that Ms. Somerset's termination was not an unfair dismissal, but rather a necessary decision based on repeated violations of conduct and performance standards. Throughout her time at May's school, Ms. Somerset received several warnings regarding consistently late arrivals to work, extended absences during work hours, confrontational behavior towards colleagues and her supervisor, accusations of unprofessional conduct, including inappropriate language towards students, reports of sleeping on the job on multiple occasions. Contrary to her assertions that she played a vital role in the fire response at May's school on March 5, 2025, her claims are false. Ms. Somerset arrived late, well after the school had already been evacuated, thanks to the prompt actions of 3 parents and a student. By the time she arrived, the safety of the students had already been ensured. Given Ms. Somerset's false statements at that time, the school's administration chose not to address her claims publicly, preferring to focus on the well-being of the students and allowing Ms. Somerset to maintain her dignity during a difficult period. This decision was influenced by her status as a single mother and the timing coinciding with International Women's Day. May's school stands firm in its decision and wishes to clarify that Ms. Somerset's claims of victimhood are misleading and do not reflect the reality of her conduct or the circumstances surrounding her dismissal. The administration remains committed to ensuring a positive and safe learning environment for all students and encourages the public to view Ms. Somerset's claims critically. In closing, the administration wishes Ms. Somerset all the best in her future endeavors. Region 1 records major decrease in crime and traffic accidents. Newsroom Guyana reports, with enhanced police resources and widespread community engagement, Region 1, Barimaweni, has seen a significant decrease in both crime and traffic accidents. This was revealed by Regional Commander, Senior Superintendent Krishnadat Ramana, during an interview on Radio Eve Leary this week. When we compare our crime rate this year to last year, we have achieved a 25% reduction, which is excellent. Additionally, traffic accidents have decreased by 50% compared to last year, Commander Ramana noted, emphasizing the continuous improvement within the division. These outcomes don't happen by chance, they result from the strategies we are implementing. The division works as a team, not individually, he added. Ramana also highlighted that improved resources have contributed to the division's success. I can proudly say we are not lacking in resources here. This was a major issue before my tenure as commander, but now each police station and outpost is equipped with transportation to meet public needs. He pointed out efforts in riverine communities that previously saw limited police presence due to accessibility challenges. In areas like Imbatero, Santa Cruz, and Maruca, we now have new boats and engines, allowing us to patrol the river areas effectively, the commander explained. Praising the police's community engagement efforts, Ramana mentioned that outreach activities are held 3 to 4 times a month. Police presence is always felt, no matter the area in Region 1, whether by river or land, he stated. Moreover, Ramana noted that the police are also actively involved in areas with a significant number of migrants. We are addressing the needs of approximately 3,000 migrants living here and are working to improve their conditions, he added. Lawyers meet with police commissioner in search of answers in Adriana Young's case. Newsroom Guyana reports, lawyers representing the grieving family of Adriana Young, the 11-year-old girl found dead in the swimming pool of a Tushan hotel, have described a recent meeting with Police Commissioner Clifton Hicken as a necessary first step in their ongoing quest for answers. The meeting, held Wednesday morning, included 2 of the commissioner's deputies, although the crime chief could not attend. Attorney Dexter Todd, joined by fellow lawyer UC Anderson, addressed the media following the engagement. They explained that while many questions remain unanswered, the police commissioner assured them that a comprehensive investigation is underway. Crucially, biological samples have been sent abroad for testing as part of an expanded probe into the circumstances surrounding Adriana's death. We have been advised to put our queries in writing, and we hope to receive substantive answers in due course, said Todd. The lawyers expressed cautious optimism that the meeting could lead to improved communication and more decisive action. They confirmed that a request for a second autopsy was among the issues raised, though no commitment was made. Additionally, they were informed that the official autopsy report and toxicology results are still unavailable, with the latter expected to take some time due to the complexity of the testing. Todd noted that the police leadership seemed aware of some investigative shortcomings, especially considering that the crime scene, the hotel, had been gutted by fire and trespassed upon by unknown individuals over the past 2 weeks. He mentioned an expressed willingness to consider international collaboration where necessary. We need transparency, accountability, and ultimately closure, he stated. The family is not asking for favors, they're asking for answers, he added. The Young family, who have postponed Adriana's funeral since her passing on April 24th, are hoping for significant investigative progress before laying her to rest. According to Anderson, there has to be a point of finality. The family deserves to bury Adriana with dignity, armed with the truth. The lawyers now plan to submit a formal list of questions to the police and will continue to press for further updates. Attorney General defends terrorism charges against suspects in last Monday's unrest. News source Guyana reports. Attorney General Anil Nanlaw has defended the Guyana Police Force's decision to file terrorism charges against individuals arrested in connection with last Monday's unrest and looting in several parts of the country. Over 40 individuals have been charged and remanded to prison for inciting public terror following violent protests triggered by the findings of the post-mortem examination of 11-year-old Adriana Young, who was found dead in a hotel pool at Tushin. 3 foreign independent pathologists determined that she died by drowning. During his program last evening, Mr. Nanlaw stated that the charges against those suspected of participating in the unrest are in accordance with local laws. For those who argue that this is an inappropriate charge, I assert that there could not have been a more fitting charge, Mr. Nanlaw declared. The Attorney General emphasized that the law clearly states that anyone acting with the intent to instill terror in the public or engaging in actions likely to cause death, injury, or property damage commits a terrorist act. He believes the charges are appropriate given the circumstances. Which part of this is excessive? Whoever intends to instill terror in people, when you set fire to the road and rob everyone passing by, when you enter supermarkets to steal, or when you attack individuals on the street, what is your intention if not to instill fear? Mr. Nanlaw questioned. He also noted that the charges aim to deter others from engaging in unrest and looting. Ask the victims, those who were on the roadways and in the properties being robbed, if they didn't experience intense and overwhelming fear, the Attorney General stated. Mr. Nanlaw affirmed that while individuals have the right to protest, looting and instilling fear in citizens and business owners will not be tolerated.